I have a question for you, and hopefully by the end of this lecture you will be able to give me the answer. Do you think the sporting events are projects? How about Soccer World Cup in 2014 in Brazil? Do you think that was a project? If it was a project, do you think that was successful? It was done on time and there was a champion, but do you think it was done on budget as well? Remember all of the protests which was done at the time. How can you characterize the project, especially the sporting events? Let's talk about the characteristic of the project right now. The projects are temporary and they have unique and specific objective at the end. So that makes them different from the routine activities that we do. We don't repeat anything in the projects. We should have unique and specific objective at the end. Another important characteristic of the projects are they have defined a start date and they have a defined end date. So they run for a period of time. This period can be short, this period can be long, dependent on the nature of the project. Another important factor that you need to consider about the project is they have limited budgets and also they have certain amount of resources. The resources are human and non-human equipment. So for example, it can be a couple of staff, it can be some office equipment, and we should be careful that we assign the right people and right equipment to the projects, and also we control our budget. If we go over our budget, as we discussed in the previous slides, the project is challenged. So we should make sure that we keep our budget. Now let's talk about the IT projects. Remember the definitions of the project. Project is temporary and it should have a unique and a specific objective at the end. Likewise, the IT project should deliver new or enhanced functionalities. These functionalities can be related to hardware, software, or IT services. Like a normal project, IT projects have beginning and also they have the end. We call the end deadline. That's the time you need to deliver the project to the customer. There are also some deliverables or outcomes for IT projects. We evaluate and measure the success of project based on whether they were done on time, on budget, was the scope met or not, the performance and quality of the projects. And normally the IT projects involve a team of specialist and expert people that worked in these kind of projects in the past. It's an important question why we study project management. The statistic is the outcome of over 9,000 projects. As you can see, only 29% of the projects were successful. More than 71% of the projects were either cancelled or challenged. We call a project challenge if it is completed late or if it is over budget and if some of the features are missing. So it means if in terms of time, budget and the scope it misses something. Now look at the statistics from 2009. And as you can see, these statistics are more or less same. So still a majority of projects are either failed or challenged. Now look at the statistic from 2013. In these statistics, as you see, the number of successful projects are improved compared to previous statistic. However, there is a small tweak about this report. There is a border between success and challenge, which is very fuzzy. And the definition that we had for successful or challenge project in this report is a bit fuzzy. So we cannot compare it to the previous reports and say that the number of successful projects is really increased because of that fuzziness in the definition of successful and challenge projects. There are some important statistics in this slide. If you look at the projects that adopted agile methodologies and you compare it, for example, to the traditional methodologies, the number of successful projects are much more in agile projects. And also the number of challenge or failed projects are less in agile projects compared to traditional projects. So the lean and also iterative strategies follows the same concept. So we can somehow conclude that agile, lean and iterative strategies are superior compared to the traditional or ad hoc strategies. Let's talk about Myki right now. I think most of you are familiar with Myki cards. It replaced Medcard few years ago. Myki is the most costly transport system in the whole world. It was created for a few reasons. First of all, said Myki needs fewer vending machines. Also, they said Myki provides a huge amount of travel data for the system, so that can be used for some data science or data analytics. Also, it was believed that Myki will produce a faster response time for the customers, so it can issue tickets in a faster time.
So we're having a look at the Myki project as an IT project that is challenged. So let's have a look at some of those issues. Myki was developed as a contactless or smart card system for making it easier to get on and off your public transport system. It began in 2005 and it was still not working properly in 2012. Its total cost is 1.5 billion Australian dollars as of August the 3rd, 2012. Here are some of the issues of the Myki system. So the card was late, the system was over budget, cardholders could only use simple functions. It was quite a while before the trams and the buses fully came on board, and a lot of people were still using their Metcard tickets. So it cost the government and the taxpayers an extra $216 million to keep the two systems running alongside till the Myki problems were sorted out.
Now let's discuss the difference between the projects and operations. Projects are mostly discussed and important under project management, and operations are categorized under business process management. What do you think is the most important difference between the projects and operations right now? Projects and operations have some common features, and also they have some differences. Both are planned, executed, and controlled. They are performed by people, and people use some equipment to execute and perform these projects and operations. And there are some resource limitations in both projects and operations. The main difference between the projects and operations are that the projects are temporary for a short period of time. They have defined a start and finish date, while operations are ongoing. Also, projects achieve unique and specific product, service, or result at the end. They have unique objective, while operations produce the same output again and again. The other thing is projects have fixed budgets, but operations have to earn profit. So for projects you have fixed budget, and you should highly maintain that and also control it. But operations, we do the operations to earn money, to earn profit.